To start the ribbon on the attachment, open this little door and snap the ribbon in. You just need to have a little bit showing inside. And then start rolling. I like to roll from the top. And then as I come along, this is a narrow ribbon. You can use anywhere from 1/8 to 5/8 of an inch ribbon. But they usually recommend starting at the top and kind of rolling down so you get an equal amount everywhere. If your ribbon is 5/8 inch, you would just do the whole one layer of it. But you see how I'm kind of bringing it down and making it wider? After I finish going down, I'll start back up at the top again and keep working down. You can always find how much ribbon is needed on your design when you download it. You can touch the question mark on the color, and then it will tell you how much ribbon you need, but it'll also tell you on my Sewnet library. I'm putting on way more ribbon than I need, just because I like to keep it all in one piece. Sometimes you can put 15 yards on. It's going to depend upon how thick your ribbon is and how wide it is, how much you can put on. All right, so there my ribbon is finished. And I'm going to put it back on, and this little area right to the left of the lever, that is where that needs to go, and you're going to click it into place. Now I'm going to turn it over, and the last step is putting the ribbon in through that little opening. I didn't do a very good job of it. Trying to hold it at the same time as I'm putting it in. It actually goes in very easily. And then when your finger, push the other end up through the next opening. And then put it through the opening right there through the center. I usually will open this wheel. The purpose of that wheel is that after your ribbon has come through, you should tighten it so that it will sit. The edges right here will sit right next to the ribbon. You want that in there tight. If you don't do that, when you start embroidering, the ribbon will go to one side or the other. We want the ribbon to be stitched right down the middle, and so that's why it's important to do. Now we're ready to put the attachment on and start up again. This cute little bird is a design in my Sewnet library, and what I've done is I've loaded it twice. The first one, I changed the color. The original color was this purple color, and you can see the symbol for the ribbon embroidery attachment. When I changed the color of the first one, it took away that information, and now it's just a regular embroidery design. So I'm going to go to Embroidery Stitch Out. And here I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to leave it the way it's set. And then when I come into this screen, I'm going to stitch the first color. And I'm going to add an applique fabric first. So this is a t-shirt that I'm doing the embroidery on. And all I'm doing is leaving it there. It will stitch around the whole design. When it's done, I'm going to cut the fabric, glitter. This is like a glitter flex. It's fusible on the back, so after I've stitched it and everything is done, I can fuse it to the t-shirt, and it washes beautifully. It's wonderful for applique, and I love using it, especially on kids stuff, but I like using it on even everything for myself too. So I'm going to stitch this out. After it's done, I'll trim away the outside edges, and then I'll show you the next start. So even though we're doing a ribbon embroidery, because the first color is a regular embroidery design color, we're going to leave our regular 60 dynamic spring foot on. This is the ribbon embroidery attachment holder. One of the very few cases where you're actually going to take the ankle off of your creative icon. And I am using a ribbon embroidery attachment from the Epic. I haven't gotten a Pfaff one yet, but I'm assuming that you will get in the box this larger screw. So if you do get the larger screw, you should use that because it's going to help to support the ankle better. And if you want to, you can leave this screw in all the time, or you can put the original one back in once you finish using it. I find it's more convenient just to leave the larger screw in because you can use this for many other different things. So I'm going to put the ribbon embroidery attachment in place. My hands might get a little bit in the way. The two prongs that are on the right here, you know that you've got it set up. You'll see the red line on the top and then the two prongs to the right, and then you know that that's the right placement for it. When you look down below here, you'll see that opening. That is where the bar that the foot goes on is going to go. So you're going to put it like this into place and then screw it. Once I get it started, I'll move my finger out of the way here. So that's the way it goes on. Always, it's easier to put on when you have your bar in the highest position. It will go on better, and you can see that's the high position. To put it on, I put it into the highest position. And those two prongs are on the right, and also this little part right here is. And I would always tighten it with a screwdriver to make sure it's in there firm. And now it's time to put the ribbon embroidery attachment in place. I put a little bit of tape down just to make sure the t-shirt stays out of the way. And I'm ready to load my ribbon embroidery attachment. Before I do anything to put it on, I'm going to look again and make sure that everything's lined up. Those red dots and the red line are all lined up. The ribbon that's underneath, I want to make sure I leave a long enough tail. Afterwards, when I put it on, I can pull it back up. So if you're the frugal kind of person and you're trying to save ribbon, this is not the place to be doing it. When you're got it on, then you can pull the ribbon back so that you don't waste any. Make sure your thread is threaded, and you're going to come from behind like this through that area there, and then what you're going to do is you're going to seat the ribbon attachment on those two prongs that stick out. Just pull it straight in towards you. And you know, when you see it's like that, you know it's not on. So just keep pulling it until it comes in all the way. I'm ready to start going. I'm going to press the start button. And you can see it lowered the unit down. You can't see too much. I just need to make sure to keep all the fabric out of the way. I'll come back when it's finished so that you can see what the end result is. So my embroidery is finished. The first thing I'm going to do before I disconnect and take anything off is I'm either going to cut the ribbon right here, or I can loosen it up so that when I pull it off, there'll be a lot of extra fullness there. I usually choose to cut it just because, and I'm just going to cut it here just to make it easier since I'm holding the camera. Now, when you're taking it off, you're doing things in reverse. First thing I like to start with is to take the connection out, the little micro port out, and then I make sure that this is not going to be in the highest position. I want to be in that high position. And when it stops, it usually stops in the highest position. So I double check to make sure it's not in the highest. And then there's a black lever inside. And so when I take it off, I'm going to push that in and pull the unit straight back out. The needle I don't have to touch because it's already high enough. So I'm just going to push this back, take it straight back, and then I'm going to dip it down, and I'm aiming to find those same connections. The red dot, the big red line, and then the 2 dots that are in front. Move it. Sorry for my arm being in the way here. Move it like that, and then pull it straight back out in an angle. And then you can see my embroidery I'll take off. And what I have here is the last ribbon. Let me move it back a little bit more so you can see. This was the first piece. I trimmed it back so you could see better. And then this one is going to come here. Usually what I'm going to do is take my sewing needle and pull the tails down below the surface. So that way you don't see it. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this little example of what you can do with ribbon embroidery. And I hope you give it a try as soon as you get a chance.